What's good, folks? Once again, this is SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. Just a few minutes later than scheduled because I had some other stuff going on. If you really want to get into the finer details, let's just say I was on the throne for a little bit longer than I had expected. But thank you guys for joining me. I wanted to get this build out of the way because I have at least one compelling thing coming up. But this is part 3 of my PANTASY Gumball Machine build. We're on bags 5 and 6 today. So without further ado, let's get started. If you happen to be watching, whether it's a live stream or a replay, just want to say thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys are doing pretty good today, better than I am. This is the same table that I have at the moment. I still have to get the whole new desk thing sorted out. I have to move the sofa, or get rid of the sofa before I can install a new desk. But we're making good with what we have right now. I'll tell you what though, it's been a very busy few last days. Friday in particular was very busy, had to run around and do a whole bunch of stuff. Yesterday was quite busy as well, and it turns out today is no different. Everything is getting crazier in the run up to Christmas, but I hope you guys are having an easier time. Yes, I'll say hello to Alexandria. We got Cosmic Bricks in the chat, and we have Never Too Old. Thank you for joining me. I can't remember the last time I actually had a gumball, to be absolutely honest. I do like sweet stuff, but I can't really say I try to avoid it these days because I'm still into sweet stuff. Hello Opium Overlords, thanks for joining me again. Good to see you. So yeah, got to figure out how to get rid of this sofa, which I ought to have done before moving the rest of my stuff in. I just couldn't figure out the most efficient way of doing it. But it will happen eventually. Alright, how are we doing here? Just have to move this one over. So yes, as I said before, I wanted to get this build out the way. It shouldn't take that much longer because I have a couple more interesting builds lined up. Still waiting for my bricks and pieces order from LEGO. It's been a full 3 weeks now and there's no sign of it. It's still in the warehouse apparently. That's pretty bad form. But I've got plenty of other things to do. Now, while I'm doing this step, okay, I think we've got this now. I did put out a couple of videos yesterday. Don't know if you guys saw them. Hope you enjoy them. I wasn't actually sure whether I would have anything out for yesterday. It was important that I did, but somehow, some way I managed to get everything done, and that's quite a proud achievement for me. There we go. Goes up in there. Got some more of these nice gold bricks. I think you can just about see them there. I can't wait to have my overhead camera angle again because it's always quite tricky trying to position things so that you guys can see everything, but also that I'm able to see what I'm doing. Oh yes, the infamous Friends Advent Calendar shorts. I quite enjoy doing them, and I made a point of doing the Friends Advent Calendar ones because, well, I actually prefer the Friends theme over the other ones. Oh dear. That's not so good news about the shooting. There's been a few of those I've heard about. I think things are coming to a head. But good to hear that you're okay though. Yeah, as I was saying, a lot of people, or at least I think a lot of people, like doing the Star Wars and the IP-based advent calendars, and the Friends one is something a little bit different. I'll try to play it straight this year though, because well, last year was a bit wild in terms of some of the things I did with each day, and so I've just decided to play it more on the safe side this year. But it's cool that you got the Star Wars advent calendar, Never Too Old. If you like the Star Wars advent calendar, check out JDP. He's been doing the Star Wars advent calendar. Don't worry about it, Opium. So I will say, I've been having a good time building this. It's more or less indistinguishable from an official LEGO set. The parts are pretty good quality. And this isn't an advertisement for PANTASY or Go Bricks or anything. This is an honest grassroots opinion about the set. Hello, Batman. I just think it's a shame that a lot of this stuff is happening so close to Christmas. And there's a couple of things I could say about the fact that these things are happening, but I will put that to the side. You don't need to hear any of that. How are things over in Gotham, Batman? Okay. Alright, so I guess here we're building a drawer that goes inside this cavity, because we have this bright green treasure chest that we're putting in here now. Oh, I put this in the wrong place. These instructions are quite tricky to follow, I will say. You know, I do like Batman. I like. I'm not a huge Batman fan, but I do like the character. I've always thought Gotham City was really dreary, though. That's one thing I don't like about the lore of Batman. It's not somewhere that I would actually like to live, based on what I've seen. But it does kind of resemble what's going on in London and perhaps other metropolitan cities. It's somewhat dystopian, I would say. Well, there's a question, slightly unrelated to the build, but who is your favorite Batman villain? Just out of curiosity. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm meant to be pushing this in. It's quite difficult. I think I got it. So I've just been placing this cat. And there is a dog as well. I think both, well, one of them's borrowed from the Friends theme. And I think I may have done that too early. Doesn't matter. Never Too Old lives in Gotham. I had no idea. So Alexandria likes the Penguin as a favorite Batman villain. I haven't actually thought about my answer. Maybe I'll just take a couple of minutes to think about it. I think the default answer is the Joker. There's quite a few layers of complexity to that one. No problem, Opium. It's just getting dark over here, but I appreciate you coming on anyway. I don't think this whole thing is going to take much longer than maybe an hour. Of course, it depends on how easily I'm able to find these parts. Alright. Mole Man. I've not heard of Mole Man. It is. There it is. Okay, we got a little bus or a train. And that's going to sit here. No. Oh yes, I did say that, Opium. It's going to be quite some way away, thank goodness, but I have said that if I get to 3,000 subscribers, I will do a face reveal. I said that partly because it's unlikely, but oh, that goes on here. But right now I'm more concerned about getting to 2, simply because I have been stuck on 1.8 for goodness knows how long, and it's more annoying than anything. But I'm a lot less obsessed with it than I used to be. No, please don't create sock puppets. It's not that kind of channel. Okay. All right, I'm going to throw a curveball to you guys then. I'm actually more of a fan of a series called Batman Beyond, or Batman of the Future. It used to show on Cartoon Network when I had access to it many years ago. And my favorite villain from that series was one called Ink. Don't know if you guys are familiar with that series. Well, that's bad news about the hamster cosmic bricks. I remember way back in the day I had I tried to keep hamsters. They didn't last very long, unfortunately, but that's a sad part of life, that everything eventually perishes. So we got to enjoy them while they're here. Got some more nice silvery pieces. Okay, I think I'm going to stand up because it's going to be a little bit easier for me, and hope I don't knock anything over. Or at least I'll stand up for the time being. All right. Whoops. Got to do something about that. Okay, that's a little gotcha there. This is regular dark stone grey. I'm looking for a silvery one. Unless I'm meant to use the... Yeah, we're meant to use the dark stone grey ones. Okay, I'm going to sit back down. That's too much. How much Lego do I own? Too much at the moment, and that's not bragging. It's the result of collecting a whole bunch of it over, it's about 15 years now. Most of it is in Ziploc bags and cardboard boxes. It's far more than I'd ever use. So I have been trying to sell some of the stuff. Oh, Film Bricks, I didn't see you there. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you as usual. So yeah, I have been fortunate to sell a couple of boxes of bits that I at least don't think I'd use, but there's still plenty more, and it's going to be one of my, if you like, resolutions to build a lot more next year. I've been focused a bit too much on 3D printing in well, certainly this year. Yeah, I've been downsizing quite a bit. How's it going, Lynx? Got Canadian Lynx who's just shown up. Yeah, it gets to a point, unfortunately, where it's nice. I mean, it's one of the things I really wanted as a kid, to have a large Lego collection. But then, as a kid, you don't really think about how much space it's going to take to store everything. There's another printed piece. That's let me see if I can get the lights here. That tile there, nice printed piece there. Do I need an alien in the gumball machine? And what kind of... If I put an alien in the gumball machine, there's no telling what's going to come out of it. That's my only real concern. So yes, for those who just joined, this isn't a official Lego set. This is PANTASY's Gumball Machine, which is the precursor, and I would argue the inspiration for LEGO's Vending Machine, which is an idea set. I have one of those and I'm going to be building it eventually. I just wanted to get this one out of the way first because it's been on my bucket list for quite some time. And I guess this is kind of meta because this is another model of a gumball machine. This is a more modern version, I would say. And Opium is a fan of the 80s and 90s castle and pirate sets. I personally think, coming from the 80s and 90s myself, that was probably the best time for LEGO. I was always a fan of the city sets, and in my opinion that was back when LEGO was a Danish toy. It had that mysterious Danish appeal. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Would I want to go back to that era though? I'm not sure. I think some things are better left in history, but I particularly enjoyed that period, and that's probably why I got back into LEGO after all these years. It's a nice silvery bits. This is it's going to be the front of the drawer, I believe. Lots of nice silver parts in this set. And as was pointed out, these came from Go Bricks, which is a third-party brand of construction bricks. Okay, yep. Yeah. Well, first of all, Cosmic Bricks, you should get some rest. Don't worry about watching me, watching some old guy building Lego. You get some rest. Yeah, this was back in the days of when we had Toys R Us over here. I lived not so far from a big Toys R Us superstore. Had to figure out how to get there first of all, but second of all, it was one of my favorite places to go. And I lived through the whole 8-bit, 16-bit gaming thing. Those were great times. Got lots of great memories of that particular period. Probably the best place to get Lego sets as well. Yeah, both for Lego and video games. They were the best places. Okay. That goes here, I think. I'm guessing this area here is where you would theoretically put a coin in. And then we even got some silvery leaf pieces. I've not heard of KB. I'm guessing that's an American brand. But we certainly have had Toys R Us over here. And it turns out we still do. It's just that Toys R Us is a concession now. They don't have the big superstores anymore. It's kind of sad, actually. I think I would have preferred that the brand itself went when they got rid of the superstores. But it's a shadow of its former self, unfortunately. But yeah, this version of the Gumball Machine isn't coin operated. this thing operates independently, as far as I know anyway. So this is more of a symbolic hole for the coin. At least I think that's the case. I think I'm doing alright for time. And yeah, that goes on the front like this. Right at the, right at the top. And then this is the drawer that slides into that section there. So yeah, I think obviously there's no coin mechanism. It's just this this thing that turns, which is, I think, perfectly fine. And now we're building the I guess the top of the machine. And at long last, we're going to add that big glass piece. Oh. I think it would have been a bit too complicated if they made it so you had to insert coins. Oh my goodness. I remember that name. Yeah, that was quite some time ago, wasn't it? That really was. Fairly good times, but you know, that was then. I haven't yeah, I don't know what's happened to anybody else from that circle. Well, Cosmic Bricks, you drink way too much caffeine anyway. Look at this piece right here. That's really nice. That's a 4x4 round tile in gold. That nice, the same kind of finish as those bricks there. That's really nice. I've had my 2 cups of coffee today, no more than that. Although I may have a Jack and Coke later today, depending on how I feel. Yeah, that circle, unfortunately, from what I've seen, it's just as I've predicted. It's full of pretty boys now, if it even exists. So not much that can be done. So we've got 2 of these rather large transparent hemispheres, and they're joined together using these Technic axles. What the heck is caffeine powder? I've heard of vitamin C powder, of which I have some, but I've never heard of caffeine powder. I know what you mean, Opium. I know exactly what you mean. I've actually been looking forward to doing this part because for some reason I like large transparent objects. Well, I have no idea why. It's just somewhat fascinating. It's a shame that it's got these scuff marks on them. I don't know if you can see them. Don't know if there's any way of removing those. That is a shame. Oh, that's interesting. Seems to be a blemish in this hole as well. Finding it difficult to get the the axle in. It just so happens though I have a set of these snips, so let's see if that can make a difference. There we go. Not bad. Now there's another name from the past. Gosh. I remember the name. I don't remember much about them. Oh, I see. Pre-workout powder. This appears to be a double-sided hemisphere because you got studs on this side and this side. And which way up does it go? It doesn't really say. I'm gonna guess it's this side up. So we're gonna put this cap on here first. It's a little bit fiddly. It does look like a hamster ball, doesn't it? I wouldn't recommend putting a hamster or even worse, a goldfish in here. Yeah, this is quite hard to put on. I'd really need to get into the underside in order to make it fit, I think. Let's see if this will help. ZMA is the goats. That's zinc, magnesium, and something else. Yeah, this bit's quite tricky, and I'm not even sure if I'm meant to be using this side or not. I think I am, because this side is obviously going to fit into, whoops, into these bits here. Let's try this way and hope I don't break anything. Or maybe, just maybe, it's not actually meant to go in. I don't know. It's not very user-friendly, I will say. Let me try something. Right, can I fit this on here? Can I even fit this piece on here? Yeah, I can, just about. Okay, that stays on. But I have to fit this round plate underneath. Darn it. Let's try it this way then. I'll take this off. Oh dear. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, by the way. You guys are having a good conversation, it looks like. So I'm going to fit these pieces first, and then I'll put the top on, or maybe fit the round plates underneath, hopefully. Right, so this will, oops, nope, I'll put this onto here first, if I can. Yep. Oh, to push this closer. And oh, yeah, very fiddly. Just about getting there. Please let it stay in there. It doesn't look particularly stable. Okay. Oh no. Oh well. Ah. I'm pretty sure somebody has come up with a solution for this, but I'm just rolling with it for now. This is the downside of having such large pieces. It's I don't even think a kid would be able to fix this in place. Held together by nothing but hopes and prayers. I don't think I'll break this, to be absolutely honest. It's the plastic is fairly sturdy. It's just not particularly conducive. There we go. Remember, folks, don't play around with these. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. A little bit of lateral thinking. And then this will plug on top. Let me bring this forward. These are stud receptacles, I believe. Like so. There we go. Now, I've got this piece spare. I'm not sure what that's for or what it's from. But I've got a couple of pieces I think that were missing from an earlier step. These tiles here. And I'm going to put them there. I think that's where they belong. And assuming that is correct, there aren't really much, there's not much in the way of spare pieces. I've got these three pieces here, really small parts. And the only other things, well, okay, there's another set of bags. But we've got these printed coin pieces. Let me see if I can get a good camera view. Lone Wolf. I think this is the first time I've seen you on my live stream, but how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Right, so you've got these printed round 3x3 tiles with a 4-leaf clover design, and it says Fantasy Buck. That is quite nice. Definitely one area where a sticker would have been inappropriate. And then of course we can put them in here. And then in theory we can turn this thing and it will have absolutely no effect because the coin will end up coming out of here as well, it seems. But we can take it out and retrieve it if we want to. So that was set of bags number 5, and now we have 6, which I guess is going to focus on the gifts inside the machine. We've got these, I'm going to guess 30mm gumballs of different colors. Excellent news on 150 Lone Wolf. Will be overtaking me in no time. No, it's always good to hear about people doing well. And it's a mock of a Speed Champion set. Alright, so yeah, we've got these two small bags. Now we've got these 30mm gumball shells. As was mentioned before, you can, once you've gotten bored of the gifts, you can use actual gumballs in the machine. It operates exactly the same way. But I guess we can really quickly, while we've got some time, build some of these gifts. We've got 12 actual builds, and then we've got 12 fortune cookie style messages. Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but one thing I like to see is people doing well, and people doing well off of hard work, or putting the work in, as I say. Alright, good to see you, Opium. Thank you for stopping by again, and yeah, take care of yourself, man. It is 3:45 a.m. That's serious. That's one such gift. Now, bear in mind, all of these have to fit inside the gumball, so they're going to be really small. Got a nice transparent snot brick. I think these are becoming a thing in official LEGO sets. And similar to the pizza set that we did a while ago, we got this thing here. That was first a Lord of the Rings gold ring, if you remember correctly. And well, that's the first instance I remember seeing of it. Whoops. We have another one, which is a small model of a grandfather clock. I don't know if you can actually say that now. Grandfather, that is. Some people may be offended about that, but we're not politically correct over here. Again, not a sticker sheet in sight. Yeah. Is this one? All right. Whoops. Got to assemble these yourself. This is one of those levers. Okay. Gosh, can you imagine a Lord of the Rings gumball machine? Let's not give LEGO ideas, eh? Got a small record player. Actually, let me see if I can bring the camera closer. How to get rid of caffeine withdrawal headache without a painkiller? I have no idea, because I've never had caffeine withdrawal headaches. Perhaps lots of water. Because caffeine is something that will dehydrate you. So perhaps the remedy for that is having water. Actually, this is a gramophone rather than a record player. Not sure if there's much of a difference. Okay. Thank you for the hearts. I do notice those. Got another small gift. A very simple, it looks like a gingerbread house. No, it's not this way, it's the other way. It's a shame that, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but it's a shame that we can't really use some of the pieces that are in these sets in stuff that we can show at events, because I think, you know, the part quality is just as good as with official Lego sets, and there's some nice bits in there as well. I think for obvious reasons it would be frowned upon. Alright, so I gotta ask though, since when did gingerbread houses become part of Christmas? Maybe I'm missing something. But then again, when do people generally have gingerbread? I don't know. I'm not a gingerbread fan, to be absolutely honest. Used to be Halloween. Well, I think there's a point there, because I always associated gingerbread houses with Hansel and Gretel, which doesn't particularly sound Christmassy to me. And if we're thinking about sweet treats, then obviously Christmas pudding. We got perhaps Stollen cakes. We got panettone. All kinds of other things which you could actually Alexandria, and if somebody hasn't already done it, that would be an excellent idea for a mod. That's a train making use of one of those rings. You got Yule logs if you want to talk about Christmas, but not gingerbread houses. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just behind the times. Britain Bricks, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you, man. We are putting this set to bed because I have a couple more things in the pipeline. Still waiting for my bricks and pieces order. They said 9 business days and it's been 3 weeks. So I'm going to tear them a new one, I think. But let's keep in the spirit of Christmas. We've got a nice little tank here. Well, that's meant to go this way up. It's a cute little tank. Now we have a penguin. Oh, no problem filling bricks. I think you'll get quite some enjoyment out of this. Just got to watch out for that top piece, the excuse me, the dome. That's going to be quite hard to put together. But maybe I've given you a little tip. Pause. I hear that, Britain Bricks. You want to get everything out the way while you can. I was exactly the same way with the advent calendar videos that I did. glad to say that I've got everything lined up now. I actually caught a mistake with one of them, and so everything should be good. We've got a I think it's a penguin. I'm gonna assume it's a penguin. That's pretty cool too. Yep, still on track. This is something more familiar with. Something more familiar. That's something that LEGO's done. Although this jumper plate is slightly different. You can see there's a an embossed square around that stud. That's something different. But otherwise, you've seen this design in official LEGO sets. Let's keep going. Okay, this I haven't seen. Maybe somebody can correct me. This is a small model of a Christmas tree, except the top half is white and the bottom half is green. Okay. It's a very unique building technique. That's pretty cool. We've got a I'm tempted to call it a biplane, but it's a model plane regardless. Uses a rather clever technique with, although I think it's an illegal build technique, using this piece here, which slots into this round plate with a hole in it, which goes into this headlight brick. I think that would be classed as an illegal building technique because of all the pressure placed on the stud, but don't quote me on that. That's very clever though. Just a couple more of these gifts. Yep. Has it given me any ideas for the gumball machine? Well, I'm still figuring out how to get the mechanics down. But has it given me any ideas? Perhaps perhaps the use of silver and maybe gold for the outside decorations. The mechanism, I was really surprised at how simple it was. I think I've gained a bit of inspiration from this, which is the best possible outcome. We have a, I'm going to call this a heart-shaped jewel or gemstone or whatever inside a glass case. And then one last thing, it's not really something that can be put together. We got this dish, we have a teapot, we've got a cup, and then just a handful of things that go inside the plate. It's all loose, and that fits inside a gumball as well. So those are the 12 gifts, and now we can look at putting them inside the balls. These are the spare parts from the bag 6 bags. Yeah, I'll definitely say I've gotten some inspiration. If anything, having built an official set gives me a bit more, I don't want to use the word confidence because it gets thrown around a lot, but it's given me more motivation to continue with the project. Right, so you can get these, I know for a fact you can get more of these particular shells on Amazon or AliExpress if you wanted to get some more. These are quite common. And I'm, you know, for the sake of argument, I'm going to follow the instructions guides. They fit nicely inside these, so you can design your own and add them, of course. I think any self-respecting person would look to do that instead of, well, I don't know what. Just following the, of course you don't have to, but I'm following the color codes used in these, using the instructions. This one's a little bit tight. And am I going to be using the same size capsules? No, actually. Excuse me. Gosh, excuse me. I'll just put this one together. So these are, I'm going to guess, 30mm balls. And life would be so much easier if I could put this together first of all. It will not stay shut. There you go. These are 30mm balls. And if I were using this size, then it would be a lot more manageable as a project. I'm going to be using this size instead, which is a 60mm ball. The main reason for that is because obviously you can see with 30mm one, there's a limit, there's a very restrictive limit as to what you can actually put in them, unless you were perhaps going to use something such as a QR code, something else in order to facilitate the builds. Probably fit a couple of these in here actually. Okay, not quite. But yeah, the general idea for picking this size is so that I could fit some larger parts in there and have some more involved builds for each day. And I've already got a pack of 50 of these. I bought these a while ago. It would have been even better if I could get some opaque ones. But got to use what I have or what I can get hold of. So I've actually done a test and I can fit, you know, the go-kart set, the one that has 2 go-karts in it. One of those go-karts, or at least the parts from one of those go-karts, can fit inside the 60mm ball. That's about the limits of what you can have inside there. So we can have a more ambitious build, and it's going to be quite a challenge to design a larger scale build that makes use of separate builds that fit inside the balls. Oh, there's meant to be a heart-shaped piece, which is over here. I completely missed that. So it looks like that. Yes, they would easily fit inside a 60mm ball. What would be really, really cool, I think, is if whether it's Lego third party or completely custom, if each of the gifts inside of one of these advent calendars were minifigures. So you could build a complete series of 24 minifigures. Well, that's what the vending machine is essentially. But just imagine if you had absolutely no idea what minifigures you were going to get. Having something like that. And if I ever do decide to do events again, if I ever get to that stage, then there's an idea. Maybe set up a one of those machines, have people dispense a gift themselves and have no idea what they're going to receive. And then last but not least, we have this. That's okay. Now here's a question. These are all the gifts, the buildable gifts inside the balls. Do I bother reading the 12 fortune cookie style messages? Because on the one hand, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but if it's the same for each of the sets, then I may as well, I guess. Alright. I'll just put these over here for the time being, so I don't forget. So I've got these. You can already see the first one. It's never too late to be what you might have been. And I guess I'll just go ahead and put this in the respective gumball, capsule, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm going to torch you guys and show you what the messages are. One of them may even say F you silent mode. That would be a rather nasty surprise. So that's the first one. I'll just fold them in 4. That's the second one. Not sure about this one, but it's a nice sentiment. That would be something, wouldn't it, Alexandria? That's the next one. That one is true, and the same thing is, I'd say the same thing is true about running from particular issues. I remember that line from Sister Act 2 actually. If we run away every time things get difficult, we're going to be running for the rest of our lives. That one is that's one particular one that stuck with me. Is this one? Venturing more toward new age stuff, but I can live with that one. Here's another one. If you're not living this moment, you're not really living. I'd agree with that, I'd say. Alright. Oh, this one is definitely apropos. Somebody said a few weeks ago in a different video, don't want to do it justice. Don't convince yourself that a bad day means you have a bad life. There's another one. It says, "You are your best thing." For some of us, that may be hard to believe sometimes, especially when we're constantly being told there's something wrong with us. But it's a nice, healthy thought to have. Man, my book is, I don't know. I've had some good chapters, I've had some bad chapters, just like anybody. There's another one. I think that's a particularly good one. There's some people who won't let us forget yesterday, unfortunately, but we don't have to pay those people any mind, do we? This one I am not too keen on because it's, I don't know, it's too wishy-washy for my taste, but some of you guys may like it. I would always say to people, if I was actually asked the question, what does it mean to love yourself? They never have an answer to that. Oh dear, Alexandria. Okay, this one's okay, I guess. I'm not really a fan of being foolish, but I understand the sentiment behind it. I guess never be afraid to be foolish, but there's some people take that literally. Just a couple more left. Oh, okay, this one, I've seen this one in a whole bunch of people's online profiles, so I kind of roll my eyes at this one. And I guess it's a reminder about some of these quotes. It's one thing to copy and paste these things and pretend that you're all knowing and everything. It's another thing to completely live these things. This is the last one. Yep. And I guess this one basically means that there's no such thing as, arriving at success and that's it. There's always something else to do, and it has to be maintained as well. But that's enough motivational talk from me. The last thing we're going to do today is put this machine to work. So I'm just going to put these together. Okay, that one burst open. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it, filling bricks. It's not necessarily a straight line, and it's not necessarily something that's already carved out. As a matter of fact, it's a lot more rewarding when you have to build the road yourself, I guess. Condemned. No, I think just about everybody's story is fascinating. I guess we differ in how readily some people will buy into it, though. Yep. Yeah, we have enough of these. And again, if you wanted to add some more of these, you can find these easily on Amazon, AliExpress, your favorite Chinese online store. Okay, that's it. So now, it's suggesting we take off this thing here, but given how difficult it was to put that on in the first place, I'm just going to yank this top this top bit off. I'm not taking any chances with that. There we go. Just going to grab these balls, pause. Give them a little shake. Oh, you can see one is already broken open. That may be a problem. Just gonna grab that other half of the thing, if I can see it. Come on now, where are you hiding? Okay, there it is. Speaking of my own projects, I would like to have something like this. Maybe I'll reintroduce just the idea of having a container, because I want to add a level of randomness to whichever gift gets dispensed. But that's going to be down to my ability, I think. Alright. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. I'm going to change the position of this thing. Okay, that's on. Alright, so now we're going to see this in operation at long last. Grab your champagne, people. Because now we're going to see this gumball machine dispense our very first gifts. That's my photo box right there. You can see the patient carrier on the left. So now what are we going to get first? I'll use my right hand. Alright, there's a gift, and what does it say? It says, isn't that the story of my year, and perhaps some other people's year? But yes, there we have it, folks. This is the PANTASY Gumball Machine. I've got it at long last, and I really like it. I like how surprisingly simple it is, and there's a lot of nice pieces, and it's do one for each day. It's a bit late, unfortunately. We're halfway into the whole Advent period, but ooh, maybe for next year. Yeah, maybe next year, assuming I still have this, that would be a good idea. I enjoyed building it, although there were a few fiddly bits, especially the top of the gumball machine. That's I'm not moving that for anybody. And I wanted to show you guys what's at the back of this thing. Just some more the instructions, some more fantasy sets. You got Kung Fu Panda, if you like Kung Fu Panda. Got Astro Boy, big in Japan. You have some steampunk models. There's a steampunk Big Ben there, and train station. That looks pretty cool. Got Saint Seiya, which is an old school anime. That's about it. Oh yes, I can't forget this thing in here, which is a maintenance tray. That's a nice excuse me, a nice feature as well. And the Meta Gumball Machine here, which is a more modern version. So yeah, this is my first fantasy set. It's not my first third-party set. I did some Miniso brand ones a while ago, but this has me convinced that I should probably look into some other ones in the future. I saw a video by Kirkin Bricks earlier today. They did an architecture building that's also by Fantasy, and that was really cool. It would be nice to have an exclusive at some point, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be exclusive. But I really like this one, and this is a nice segue into building Lego's version of this set, which is the vending machine. And I'm going to break a surprise right now, as well as having the official set. I got this from AliExpress, which is virtually the same thing. Looks as if it's all the same parts and everything, except it didn't come with a box. So I'm going to be building both versions, and I'm going to see if there are any significant differences between them, apart from the obviously the bricks not having the Lego studs on them. Yes, that's the one, Britain Bricks. If you're referring to the architecture building, that was that's a really nice one, and it has lighting as well. But yeah, this is for this is where I do all my photography. This is something that I built many years ago, just a little photo box with a sheet of cartridge paper as the background. This is where I film all the videos and builds that I do, and I'm quite proud of it. Oh yes, I guess while I'm here, I may as well show you guys these. These are the what I call the beverage steins that I designed in a previous video, and I've been looking to assemble just a few of these with different colors. Haven't gotten around to that yet. But yes, that is going to be it for this particular live stream. I've gone about 20 minutes over, but I hope you guys don't mind. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining me. I always appreciate you guys playing along, and I hope you enjoyed it. So this has been SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. And as always, I encourage you all to do your thing.